What's up? Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, and welcome into another edition of MVP Sports Live, the sports talk show right here on MVP Sports YouTube page. I am joined, as I always am, with my beautiful co-host, Dave Oster.
Hey, buddy.
Dave, I feel like it's been a while since I think we did a show last week.
We did.
Did we do a show last week?
Maybe.
I know we did Friday, but Jake was there. So it's like, it's one of those things where it's
I think we're good for like one show a week, maybe.
Yeah, like
that's all you can tolerate of me.
That's all I can tell. It is weird. I was telling Jake and Soapy, it is weird. Not like, I don't know if you felt like this. Like sometimes looking and going, oh, I'm not on the show today. Because it used to just be like, oh, it's Dave and I.
Yep. It's definitely a different feeling because it was just like yesterday. I was like, all right, stuff went on in the playoffs. I'm ready to talk about it. I was like, oh yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm watching today. It is a bit different.
Dude's like, I don't get to talk about.
It's kind of like a nice mental break at the same time, but it's a balance, you know?
Yeah, it is. And I'm also wondering, is my internet shitting itself or is your internet shitting itself?
Probably mine.
Okay, because I don't know if this happened to you because we both live in Illinois. But last night at about 4 a.m, well, more like 3:30.
What was I doing last night at 3:30 in the morning?
Probably sleeping.
Sleeping.
The power went out, but it wasn't like it just went out kind of a thing. It was like if I like lowered the dimmer button and slowly put it down, it was like, and then my lights went out.
That's kind of. I'm gonna try to fix my camera real quick.
You're good.
See if my Discord needs a boot.
And then I also heard what sounded like the transformer outside blowing up. Because I heard a outside. I was scared. I'll be honest. I was a little bitch. I was scared. Then they came on, and then immediately went off again. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to bed if a fire starts and I am sleeping in it. That's just how I go.
I didn't have any power loss by me, so I think that's a you thing. My internet sure is shitty today.
Yeah. Here's the thing. It was fine until we started the show. You and I, talking for a little bit before the show, we're talking fine, Dave. Talking A-okay. Now Dave has that look on his face like he's frustrated.
I see you crystal clear, and I see me crystal clear. So the fact that on the show I know it's not bugs me a lot.
Yeah.
Deal with it today, people. I'm sorry. You get blocky like Fuzzy David.
Here, I'll do this just yeah, we'll do one of these just to see if that was it. Just to see if it was on my end.
Do a thing.
Oh, I want full screen, you went away. I want full screen, you went away. You're back. Okay. So we're talking basically today's NBA. What up, Eric, also, and YouTube chat. It is weird to say YouTube chat because yesterday I said Twitch chat like 5 different times. And I was like, oh, wait, we're no longer on Twitch. But yeah, we're talking NBA today all a week, basically, because it's the playoffs. 1, playoffs. 2, we don't really have anyone to talk hockey, so like we're not going to talk hockey playoffs.
We're not going to Pat McAfee this shit?
No,
and have a bold conversation for 40 minutes about something that we don't actually know about?
I could talk about it because I watched it, but I just don't feel like hockey fans would get the same out of it coming from me. But yeah, we're going to talk NBA today. We've got all the games from yesterday. Most of the games from yesterday because the Nets are at the end. They're just kind of a little dash at the end because we know what to expect from the Nets. But before we get into everything, though, quick housekeeping. Number 1, if you're not in the Discord, that link is down below in the description. You can go ahead, click on it, join the MVP Discord, which is the greatest community in the universe. Interact with the fans and us from MVP. If you want to support us, you can do that in one of 2 ways. You can either become a patron at patreon.com/MVPvids. You can also become a channel member if you want. Those are the 2 ways that you can support us. So go ahead, and that link for Patreon is down below. Channel members is the join button on our YouTube page, where we are live every Monday through Friday around 6 p.m. Central Time. We're usually live talking about a different number of sports. We pick a sport for the day. We have a select few hosts, Jake, Soapy, Dave, and myself. 2 of us are on the show usually every day. It's usually a good time. But Dave, The first series we are talking about is probably the biggest news of the day. And I'm just going to be frank with you and answer it this way. Are the Clippers screwed? Like, is this more of the Clippers should be hitting the panic button and we should be focusing more on the Clippers? Or is Luka Doncic Jesus and he should be, like Jake said, if he wins this series, a bona fide top 5 player, no discussion?
I mean, it's awfully hard to not go with the latter on that one. I think this is I honestly did not expect Luka to play this well coming out the gates with the amount of defenders that there are on that Clippers team, but also didn't expect Tim Hardaway Jr. to fucking flamethrower.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming. It's like, it's been a series of pleasant surprises, I think, for the Mavs. Now, on the Clippers side, yeah, Paul George hasn't seemed to have found a shot from the outside. Yeah, Zubac is a guy who probably doesn't get playoff minutes if they want to win games, in this series at least. There's a lot of small adjustments that could be made, but they are in dire trouble. This feels like it's the Mavs series for the taking now, and I don't know what more like Kawhi could do outside of defending Luka every possession, full court press.
That's it. That's all he needs to do is defend Kawhi. Kawhi needs to defend Luka, Dave. That's all he needs to do.
I don't know that will be enough.
Like, here's the thing.
Because if he uses all the energy on the defensive side, who's going to carry them offensively? He doesn't have.
I hate this Clippers team. And the reason why I hate them is they should be winning this series, Dave, 2-0. I'm happy for Luka. It's like I'm not mad the Mavericks are up 2-0, but watching the Clippers play basketball and me looking at it going, hey, Ty Lue, you going to do something? You going to do something? Pat Bev's getting cooked by Luka. You going to do something? No? All right.
Small.
He did something. He put Paul George on Luka. All right, that's not working. Are you going to do something? You going to do what we all think after game 1? Well, we are going to put Kawhi on Luka. I watch game 2, and who do I see Kawhi guarding, Dave? Kristaps Porzingis standing there. Why? Ty Lue, it's like I said before, Dave, Ty Lue's a bad head coach. He's not a good head coach. The only reason he's got a finals is because he had LeBron James on that team. Because he had LeBron James and Kyrie was able to hit a shot. That's the only reason why he has a title. He's not a good coach. Like, this is a team where I'm sitting there, and even me, I am not a basketball tactician by any sorts of
no one will disagree with that.
But even I can watch the game and say Kawhi needs to guard Luka, no matter. I get the one point that I haven't heard brought up is what you said. But if he wastes all his energy offensively, defensively, how is he going to do it offensively? Paul George then needs it. Like 20, he had 28 points last night. Like, that is no slouch. There needs to be other
Kawhi had to put up 42 to make it competitive.
Exactly, but like Marukes Morris 9 points, Avaka Zubac. There's a debate
Zubac
that maybe
shouldn't be on the court.
Maybe Serge Ibaka should be playing more than 6 minutes a game. Nicholas Batum, Nicholas Batum's a guy where it's like, oh man, in the playoffs he's gonna be shooting from the outside, helping him. Only played 19 minutes, scored 9 points. Like, somebody needs to step up.
No, that's a Batum game.
Yeah,
that's exactly what you expect out of Nick Batum. The guy who's letting you down right now is Morris. You need the points. You expected Marukes to be the bully. You expect him to fuck with the other team and get you good buckets, quality looks, and he's not doing it. He's looked dreadful in these first couple games. Honestly, he's probably the most disappointing player on the team. Reggie even had a fucking bounce back game, which I was calling for his minutes to be given away to Man, and I still believe that. But you know what? Even with a decent game too, they still weren't going to get anywhere. So the problem is when you look at Kawhi Leonard and you see, I don't know, when I look at Kawhi, I look at how he won in Toronto. And maybe that's a bad thing, maybe it's a good thing. But just for comparative sake, when he was going all out on the defensive end, they still had Lowry, C-Scam, Dad Van Vliet to be there to be that scoring push. It wasn't just on him to do it on both ends of the court the entire game. They were able to have that nice balance. Now, on this Clippers team right now, it fucking seems like they need him to be goddamn LeBron James, Superman, a little bit of everything in between. Because if not, they're not even competitive.
Well, and Anthony in YouTube chat brings up a good point that Jake and I were talking about last night. Why fucking trade for Luke Kennard if you're not going to play him?
Great
Why
question.
is Luke Kennard not playing? Like, everything in this series, I am like, why is Ty Lue the coach of this team? Like, this is a team that, I mean, let's be honest. Maybe we should be talking about how the Mavs are basically just straight exposing the Clippers, and that the Clippers are not who we thought they were. I was almost going to say the quote that the late Denny Green, R.I.P. Denny, gave to us, but I mean, they are not who we thought they were. This was a team that I thought is going to go to the Western Conference Finals, is going to be a team that makes a push. And now 2 days in, or 2 games in, I'm sitting here going, I don't know if the series gets back to LA, Dave. I don't know if we see another game in LA, because I think Dallas is probably going to close it out in Dallas.
Yeah, no, I totally
100% capacity too.
Yeah, it's going to be real tough. It's going to be real tough to get out of that. But again, if it takes Dallas having incredible scoring performances out of guys like Tim Hardaway Jr., then yeah, I mean, you kind of look at it, and I don't know if I'm not saying it's not, whatever. I'm just saying that, like, is he going to do that to you every night in the series? Maybe. Like, maybe this is their big mismatches because they can't figure out how to stop Luka Doncic. They're over-rotating, they're switching, and Tim Hardaway Jr. gets great looks out there. I don't know. I'm just going, is it really as bad as it seems for the Clippers? Like, is this really a series that's just out of reach and done after 2 games? Like, look, if you asked this about Miami, if you said about Miami, I'd be like, I kind of understand where you're coming from. They got their shit pushed in last. Like, it wasn't even close to start the game.
I will say the same thing for the Clippers that I said for Miami yesterday, because Soapy and I did talk about the Bucks and Miami yesterday. I will say the same thing. Yeah. Game 3, this is a duh statement, I know, but Game 3 is a must-win. If the Clippers don't win, the series is over. I said the same thing for Miami. If Miami does not win tomorrow night, series is all wrapped up. It'll probably end in 4, but may end in 5. Same thing here. But the only difference here is I think if the Mavericks win Game 3, it's getting wrapped up in 4, which, oh my God, what would the storylines be if Luka Doncic swept the Clippers in Paul George, playoff P, and Kawhi Leonard?
And remember, this is the team that tanked to play the Clippers. Yes. I'm sorry, the Clippers tanked to play the Mavs.
To avoid the Lakers.
Yep.
Had to avoid the Lakers. And Dave, Jake, when I brought this up yesterday, I'm actually glad that I'm on the show today, that Soapy wasn't able to make it, because I can make sure that this question gets asked. Because although it is ESPN in all of the sense, Dave, you have to talk about it so we can clip this and get more of those YouTube views. If the Clippers lose this series, is Kawhi gone after this offseason? Does Kawhi not take his player option and say, I'm going to go somewhere else because obviously I can't win here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's
would make
not
sense
happening.
If they get swept, ooh, I want to.
I'm not saying it's not happening. I think there's a fair chance Kawhi Leonard leaves town, though. I think that is absolutely valid discussion at this point because, let's be honest, what have they built around him? They went and got Paul George. Great. They got Rondo, but they refused to play him full minutes. They got Ibaka, but he's been relegated to minor minutes. They took Batum off the scrap pile, and he had a phenomenal season, but now he's been pushed out of the lineup. Like, it just feels like they didn't fix the team from last year. Yeah. The scapegoat of Montrezl Harrell hasn't really done much, getting rid of him. So I'm not sold on him staying in LA. I think that there's I'm not sold on him staying with the Clippers. Let me asterisk that. But I do think that, if they get swept out of this, 50-50, it's coin flip Kawhi Leonard. Like, he could go to Miami. He could go to LA on the other locker room. He could go to a bunch of different places. I think that would be awesome. What if he was just like,
where would he go?
Mavs got an opening. Mavs got money.
You go to the
They did.
See, Dave.
Could you imagine Kawhi Leonard back in Texas?
See, I was thinking a different thing, and this is
I'm tossing out teams with money. Yeah. That's my only thought.
You want to hear mine that Jake hated me last night.
Sign and trade Golden State Warriors.
Exactly. Wiggins
I
and
knew it
the
was
2
coming.
draft
Ricky,
picks to the
because it's
Warriors.
you. I knew it was coming.
That's the first thing I thought of. And Jake's first thought was, you just don't want the NBA to be fun. I'm like, dude, that team would be insane. And the only reason I thought about it was because Jake made a comment about how we were watching part of the 2009 Bulls Celtics game 5. Or not game 5, game 6. Because Jake is like, what old game should I turn on? And obviously, I just threw out. I throw out just old Bulls games because that's what I want to watch.
Greatest first round series of all time now.
Yeah, but he mentioned Ray Allen. He's like, the greatest thing about Ray Allen is how many times he redefined his career. And like basically like, I'm this player, then gets to Boston. Okay, now I'm gonna become this player. Then goes to Miami. Okay, now I'm gonna be this player. And he kind of brought that up with like, oh, Klay Thompson's gonna have to do the same thing coming off of these injuries. And he's like, offensively he'll be fine, but defensively he might not be the same player. Which one, I will say, people will say that, and then watch Klay come back and be the exact same person he was just because he's Klay fucking Thompson. Not saying he will, just saying Klay's going to be really good. But I thought about that. I was like, then why wouldn't you put Kawhi next to him? However, would Kawhi want to do the Kevin Durant thing and go win a title with Golden State? Or does he still feel like I can go anywhere? Like, Dallas is one I didn't think of. I thought about what King E said, Knicks baby. I thought about what if I can read right, what Seb said with the Bulls. I don't think he'd come to the Bulls, but it'd be great. I would welcome in open arms.
We wouldn't say no, but I don't know the odds of him coming.
Here's the interesting one that I thought of yesterday. Would the Knicks, or not the Knicks, would the Heat let Vic walk to bring in Kawhi Leonard? No brainer, but like, but would he want to go to Miami to play with Jimmy and Bam Adebayo? And is that even a fit for him?
It's always a fit because it's talent on talent on talent. Doesn't even matter at that point. They would probably work out something fishy where like Vic would sign for a 10 million MLE. Like, they'd waive everybody else's fucking rights. Duncan Robinson would walk. Yeah. But they could have, Vic, Kawhi, Jimmy, Bam. And,
Goran comes back on like a vet minimum to be the point guard.
It'd be some ridiculous bullshit out there. So, I don't know. Like, yes, there's a chance. Yes, they could make it work. Should they? Who knows? I did forget the whole situation with Rondo and Ibaka. A little bit of a yelling match on the sideline is what caused the perhaps lack of minutes because Ty Lue is mentally weak.
Yeah.
I still couldn't find... I'm literally looking for what happened to Luke Kennard and why he doesn't exist on this team anymore.
It's because Ty Lue's not a good head coach, Dave. That's just plain and simple. He's not a good head coach. The other thing I did want to... And Jake threw this out. Does Kawhi go to Philly? Like he was going to when he signed with the Clippers. He gave him a meeting. Like...
No.
No, Ben Simmons. I was like, I even threw out to Jake, I'm like, but you have to give up Tyrese Maxey. You know how much you love Tyrese Maxey, Jake. And he still didn't bite. But yeah, the Clippers are a team. I think the panic button is obviously being hit. Obviously very hard. But on the other side of LA, Dave, Lakers after game 2, they feel really good. I mean,
do they? Because really, a lot of people are just pointing at Chris Paul's injury and saying he's not all the way back. Okay, guess it was a little bit more damaging than we thought initially. He's still not all the way comfy, So there's some signs there, but at the same time, LeBron James yelling at his teammates to knock down big shots when it counted. Yeah, felt pretty good. Yeah, that felt like the Lakers of old.
I watched this game last night, and while I was watching it, there's a couple things I noticed. One, nobody but LeBron James wants to take a shot. Like, when LeBron passes, and AD included into this, when they get the ball, the first thing they are looking for is, where's LeBron so I can pass it back to him? Because it seemed like nobody wanted the ball in their hands. And, like, for me, it's like, so this game was obviously, it's important for the Lakers because you want to steal. They say that, Dave, you want to steal home court away, which is important because you're going to the Staples Center now. And if you win 2 at the Staples Center, you go up 3-1. The thing that I think, though, is this Suns team, this series is going 7. That's what I think after 2
Probably.
games. Because, yes, you bring up Chris Paul. It's like he was not 100% healthy. Also, as Jake was saying during the game, let's get Chris Paul a jacket so that one guy didn't continually have to, like, hold ice on his shoulder
That was
the
weird.
whole time. But what about campaign? Like, as a Bulls fan, I'm sitting there going, why couldn't you be like this when you were on our team? Oh, wait, that's right. Jim Boylan was our head coach, not Monty Williams. But it was really nice to see him ball out. The only thing is, down the stretch, it's like, okay, you took the lead for the first time since the first, but without Chris Paul out there, Devin Booker did not do what I wanted Devin Booker to do. And this is not me like a Devin Booker's not the guy. It's just
He had a great game 1.
He had a great game 1, but like, this is what the Suns are going to need if they want to beat LeBron is if you have a game like this and you take the lead 92-91 in the fourth, you got to have your guy, that is Devin Booker, if Chris Paul's not out there, kind of be like, all right, this is where I'm taking over the game to make sure that we keep this lead. And I didn't see it. And that's going to be, if that doesn't happen, the Suns probably won't win this series.
Yeah, no, I agree. There needs to be like a straight killer takeover mentality. Like, just, hey, I will guarantee this game ends with ball in my hands, making a shot kind of a situation. And they didn't go that route, unfortunately. I don't know. I think that the series has been interesting so far because we got to see more of Drummond.
Dude, he played really good in game 2.
He was soaking up boards, but at the same time, Ayton was like 9 of 10. Like, Ayton couldn't miss. And I'm like, why aren't they going to Ayton more? Like, if Drummond's on the court, they should be feasting in the paint. And it didn't seem like they had adjusted their game plan to Drummond's extended minutes and matching that. I was a little concerned on why that wasn't, I saw it from my side. Ricky, when you watched the game, did you see an opportunity there as well?
It's one of those to where it's like, I was going to ask you, do you think that changes and they do go to 8 and more in game 3? Because I was thinking the same thing. And the other thing I was thinking is kind of the irony thing of everything hearing going into this game. Drummond's a piece of shit. Drummond sucks. Drummond's a hot bag of garbage. Drummond shouldn't be on the court. Oh, if the Lakers want to win this series, then they shouldn't play Drummond. And then he comes out and has a double-double in the fucking first quarter.
Look, his energy's good. And when he's on it. But like more often than not, he's just a net negative on the court, regardless of what the box score tells people. And I think that's the frustration is like there's 2 different stories to Andre Drummond, and especially his motivation is something that waxes and wanes throughout games. So I just felt like the Suns missed an opportunity there to go full attack mode in the paint. I think that they could really have worked out a better offensive game plan around that. Defensively, I mean, like you said, you try to make everybody else beat you but LeBron James, and especially with the hesitancy of every other player around LeBron not wanting to take shots to where he has to scream at them to take said shots. Like, all right, let's see what we can do there. Can we get him into a situation where we're doubling LeBron on switches and, make him make the extra pass and see what happens? I don't know. But we did see Marc Gasol.
We did, and Marc Gasol...
Called it.
He hit some big 3-point shots, especially early in the game. There was one where the Suns were like, yeah, we're just going to leave you open. I think it was also because of some switching that they just left him open. And he stood there, and no one came by him. And Jake was screaming at because we're watching it together. He goes, shoot the goddamn ball, Mark. And then
he was taking his time. It was a practice rep.
A practice rep. One thing I want to ask you about the Lakers, though, is so because of the fact that we're talking about the hesitancy of LeBron's teammates, because like the Suns did have a good game 1, Lakers had a good game 2, that's why it's tied. After 2 games of the playoffs, where's your gauge on Lakers finals team that everyone thinks LeBron James and stuff are going to be? Has it moved more towards like yes, this will be a finals LeBron's team, or is it I don't really know if this team has it to get past some other teams, especially if they play the Mavericks in the Western Conference Finals.
Well, that's a different. Look, they're gonna need to continue elevating their game, series in, series out. I think this is a team that can try to polish themselves up during the playoffs because obviously they missed 2 big stretches of time for their 2 best players as the season was ending. So, I didn't expect it to be like clockwork coming into the playoffs this year, but I did expect them to be better than what we've seen. The reliance, or I guess the need for Schroeder to step up, very clear. The center play more important than ever. Like, I'm not worried about LeBron James so much as I'm worried about his teammates. If Anthony Davis can keep giving me 30 and 15, yeah, we're going to be just fine out there probably. But it really just comes down to those matchups, and if they can keep elevating, I don't know if they're the best team in the West as of today, but ask me in a week, and then ask me the week after that.
Yeah.
And it might, like, each time I think they're going to keep getting better. That's the scary thing is, like, look, if you're telling me the Western Conference playoffs, like, as a picture right now, give me your confidence chart. The Mavericks are probably number 1. And then after that, I mean, do you have a...
I don't have a clear 2. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
And the only reason I don't have a clear 2 is you've got now the Jazz will be interesting. Tonight, Donovan Mitchell is coming back, I believe. After he is
returning.
After he was so angry at the doctors for not letting him, and not letting
he was
him
medically
play game
cleared.
1. Like,
medically cleared. And then they're like, let's just have another couple days rest.
Well, and that's the thing where it's like, was it a doctor? Were the doctors keeping him out or the team? That was because I was listening to, I think it was you and Jake on Monday talk about it. And if it was the coaching staff that was like, oh, we're going to keep you out, then faux pas on you. Faux pas. But if it was a team doctor saying, no, he cannot play, that's different. I think
it was a tandem. I think it was like the coaching staff and the doctors have a conversation, go, where's he at? 80%, 90%, whatever. And they're like, game 1 against the Grizzlies, like, we probably beat the Grizzlies, right? Like, we probably get by without him. Have him rest. Yeah, just one more game.
Because I know that, like, I think it was Jake mentioned Donovan Mitchell felt like he's good to go. How many times have we heard that from players? I feel like I'm good to go. It's like, no, but the doctors do their job. That's why I was like, what kind of a decision was it? Because, I mean, you look at them, the Grizzlies, they're up 1-0 heading into tonight. And, like, I felt very confident, Dave, just saying, like, I'm going to sprinkle a little $5 on this Grizzly team plus 320 to win game 2. Because even with Donovan Mitchell...
Well, if he's got some rust...
What if he's got some rust? This Grizzlies team is playing. We've seen what the play-in tournament can do with teams. You get that hot streak heading into the tournament, but like out of the Mavs, like the Jazz would be a team that you look up to, and it's like, well, they stumbled. You've got Blazers Nuggets, where I just think that's going to be exactly what I thought it was, a hard-fought 6 or 7 game series.
Yes, sir.
Where the teams will trade off. Most likely, and like now since the Blazers won game 1, it just comes down to, will they trade off and the Blazers win, or can the Nuggets win 2 in a row versus the Blazers? And then you look at Nuggets Suns, and I go, I don't know if Lakers Suns. I don't know if either the Lakers or the Suns have separated themselves to where it's like the Mavs are the hottest team right now. Now, the one thing I will ask you, this will probably go back to the Mavericks a little bit, are they going to be the Clippers of this year? Or not the Clippers, Nuggets of this year. Where it's like, they're the team that get to the Western Conference Finals, and people go, didn't fucking expect that.
Yeah, I mean, there's every reason to believe that they can get there, and honestly make it out of the West at this point.
Yep.
If their role players...
out of the West.
If their role players continue on this, 100%. 100%. I mean, we're talking about the fucking next phenom of the NBA, the guy who I know we've heard about 6 guys proclaim the next LeBron James, the next face of the NBA. Fucking Luka Doncic.
Luka's fun to watch, too. That's the thing.
Dude, I love the fact that people are starting to call him, like, Little Larry Bird. Like, because of the amount of shit he's talking directly at the bench of the Clippers. Oh,
well,
it's good.
Like, here's the thing. There's been different shit talkers over, like, the time in the NBA. Like, you have shit talkers like Reggie Miller that's like, I'm going to shit talk you and it's gonna come down to like a spite thing where like I'm trying to get under your skin. Larry Bird was like a shit talker, but then after the game, it's like, oh, Larry's a nice guy. Like he was perceived as the nice guy. Where it's like Luka, you could do the same thing of like he'll shit talk you, but then he hits you with that smile, and you're like, God, you can't hate Luka.
It's like Luka in the moment. God, he's caught up in the game, you know.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure he pure straight hates Patrick Beverly, and enjoys every time he calls him too fucking small. Like,
oh man,
it's kind of his thing now.
It's kind of like Luka with the ref. Hit her with the smile, Luka. You got her on your side. Now you'll get all the calls. The last game that went on though, Dave, yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, I will ask you this, and this is no disrespect to the Celtics.
Bring it.
But Dave, it's all disrespect to the Celtics.
What I'm here for.
Is there anything to talk about with the Nets? Yeah, they took a 2-0 series lead.
Nah. It ain't fucking close. I gave the Celtics one game. I thought they would win one game in the series. There's still the opportunity
which is nice coming from you.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the Nets 4-0 in the fucking Sixers just because of Jake. But I did think that the Celtics would be able to find one game. But again, with Jaylen Brown's injury, this team is just, it's not right. And I wonder if this will be the offseason where we see change. I wonder if this will be the time when we see dramatic change to the roster.
Yeah.
Question mark to the coaching staff. In the front office. I think that Brad can be your coach. Maybe you just gotta get new assistants in there.
Or
go
just
fucking
get rid
find
of Danny
out.
Ainge.
I mean, Danny Ainge needs to go to a different role. You can bury him in a front office in some executive role, whatever.
What, like we did with Paxton?
Yeah, do that. But like this is a team that's just, they're not on the same level. The Nets are the world killers. They're here to go to the NBA Finals, and they'll be damned if anybody's going to stop them. The fact that they're allowed to rest guys, the amount of minutes they are in a playoff game is fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
that's how close these games are. So, I mean, no, that's all I gotta say. It's embarrassing. But I am happy to see in these games.
What?
Blake Griffin looking good. That's what I'm like. Didn't expect to see that when this year started.
Dave's like, this is the Blake Griffin I have not seen in quite. It's like the Obi-Wan. That is a name I haven't heard in quite some time. Exactly. Because we haven't fucking heard him in the playoffs. Like, I know that Soapy will say the Pistons made the playoffs as the 8th seed that 1 year with Blake.
Yeah, but it killed Blake Griffin.
It killed Blake
Griffin.
You
killed Blake Griffin.
For him to get you to the 8th seed, what did it cost? Literally cost Blake Griffin everything.
Cost top 5 voting, Blake Griffin, the best Blake we'd ever seen before.
Here's the only thing that bugs me with the Nets. Yep. And I get it. I get why it's like this. We're the same way with the Warriors. And I'm saying that now because I know there will be people out there, Jake, that say I have a double standard with this opinion that I'm going to kind of put out there. Is I was scrolling through my Facebook today, and the NBA memes account put a graphic with a question that said, which dynasty are you taking? And it had 4 pictures. One of them was the which big 3 are you taking? One of them was the Bulls, so Jordan, Pippen, Rodman. One of them was the Miami Heat, so you had Bosh, Wade, and LeBron. One of them were the Warriors, KD, Steph, and Clay. And then the last one were these Nets.
These Nets, not even close.
Is it? See, here's the thing. I saw that and I went, yet again, and this is maybe my beef with the NBA memes account, because they did the same thing with the playoff thing that I mentioned to you and Jake, where it's like, RJ made the playoffs before Ja and Zion. It's like, guess what? If you would have waited 2 days, Ja made the playoffs too, motherfucker.
Ja won his game too.
Yeah, Ja did win his game too. But like, I looked at that and I go, can we at least wait for this Nets team to win the ring before we put out stuff like that? Like, every single one of those big 3 have gotten the ring. The Nets don't have the ring.
But the Nets have the 3 most talented players.
I get that. That's the thing.
That's the difference. Like, Jordan, Pippen, Rodman is, they've got their 3-pack of rings together. They look fucking great. No argument. Obviously, we know what Steph, Clay, and
KD.
I'm surprised it was KD over Dre, but yeah, I get it.
Mhm.
You know, but like, if we're just saying from a pure talent standpoint, this is the best collection of three players that we've ever seen. Like the LeBron, Bosh, and Wade thing, not even in their fucking stratosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's be honest. This
Yeah.
is three all-time top 20 players,
But
and
are they for sure going
maybe
to the
25 for Kyrie, maybe 30. I take it back.
Are they for sure? Because I know, yet again, and this is a tricky question to ask because
Yeah.
we always want to play into our predictions. And you did
Mhm.
have the Nets in the finals. I believe
Hard to say no.
You and Jake had them winning.
Yeah.
Is there a chance that a team like, let's say the Bucks, because right now it looks like the Nets and Bucks will meet in the second round, is there even a chance a team like the Bucks, like, or have the Bucks showed you in 2 games against the Heat that, hey, we can compete with the Nets, and that the Nets, they'll have an easy series against Boston, but that they shouldn't take a team like Milwaukee in the second round lightly?
Again, Boston's missing their second best player, so it does come with an asterisk. But at the same
Exactly.
time, it's just fun to rub it in Boston's face that they fucking suck because their bench is so thin that you'd fall through some ice if you put a little kitty cat out there. That's how thin it is.
And Sixer fans love to throw out that I saw on Twitter today. Hey guys, remember when we got Thibault because Boston thought they stole Carson Edwards from us?
You wanted a 5'9" bow-legged midget. How's that working out for you?
Yeah.
He making many shots for you? He winning playoff games?
I liked Carson.
But see, Seibel is just the best defensive role player that we've seen since Andre Roberson. So
yeah,
pretty much even, right?
Almost,
it's
almost
just
even.
It's a fair deal back. You know, it's the universe trying to balance out what Markelle Fultz was.
Yeah.
That deal. You know,
Yeah.
that's
that whole deal. When they got Jason Tatum and you got Markelle Fultz.
Yeah, I mean, let's be fair. Also, Romeo Langford. I mean, look at all that Romeo Langford, who clearly exists, has done for this team.
Because, I mean,
to answer your question, though.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, the Bucks do now stand a chance in my mind. I think that seeing Drew Holiday's impact on the court is hilarious, and seeing the improvements of their bench and their scoring off the bench. Bryn Forbes, obviously you have to gush about him after his amazing Game 2 performance, where he literally couldn't fucking miss for the first half of the game. Yeah. Bobby Portis, we love Bobby here. Crazy eyes, can knock down.
We love Bobby.
Dude, scores some bunches. And I think that that's like, as a nice change of pace center for you, I think he's perfect for that team. I'm surprised that Jordan Ward didn't get more run with this team during the regular season. He's just got garbage minutes. He's a fucking walking bucket that I want to say called it. I really think that this is a well-balanced Bucks team. It just comes down to the fact that hey, Bud's made the answer of, I'm gonna play my starters the whole fucking game and we will win. And that's all we've been asking for, man.
Took him how many years? How many years did it take him?
Yeah, so assuming we get 40 plus minutes out of Drew, Chris Mid, and Giannis, 30 out of Brolo, because there's no fucking way he should be on the court for 45. Yeah. Thinking about that, that should be a competitive series. That absolutely should be competitive through and through, because I think that, yes, there are, when it comes to if you're ranking the players, it's Harden, it's Harden, KD, Giannis, Chris Mid, Drew, or I'm sorry, Harden, KD, Giannis, Chris Mid, Kyrie, Drew. They have the clump in the middle, but this side's got the top, and it's the question of I kind of want to believe in the Nets still.
I mean, maybe it's me just trying to be, because Soapy said something on, it was yesterday's show, where he said the east side of the bracket, he goes, it's basically poop. Where
it's
you look at basically the only series that we're going to be talking about from the first round will probably be Knicks Hawks. Probably the only one we're talking about. I thought and that's another thing. Final shot. Yes, I know you want to go to Julius Randle, but he's triple teamed. Derrick Rose is right in the fucking corner. He's an MVP, right? It bugged me. It still bugs me. Because I was like, Derrick, throw it to Derrick. Derrick's right there. Derrick can hit the shot. Nope, young kid. Not even a young kid. But I mean, I want to hang on to hope that the East playoffs are going to get better because the West has been so good. If the Jazz win tonight, every series but one is tied. And it's like every West game. I can't think of a West game that I have watched so far that I have watched and gone, wow, that game sucked. Or wow, that game was horrible.
Drama has had some driving force throughout to keep me watching, whereas the East, we joked about the Bucks Miami game. Like, by the time we finished the show, it was over. Yeah. I mean, it
was over during the show.
It was a quarter and a half in, and it was over. Like, there was no point to watch that game. And I mean, God forbid the Wizards series is fun, but it's not really that competitive. It's not competitive, but it's fun.
Exactly. And like the other two we just talked about.
Yeah, the Nets aren't fucking close. And obviously we got one series in the East. We got 4 in the West. Let's be thankful. Hey, let's thank the basketball gods because we are getting some high quality basketball one way or the other.
I mean, but yet again, it'll probably, knowing our luck, it'll probably work out to where it's like, wow, the East was boring, the West was not, but then the champion comes out of the East.
Yeah, I fully expect the Nets to win. I'm not seeing another team who has
the firepower, the star power.
No one's got close. You know, it's LeBron James and plot armor, but like that's about it.
Depends. Does James Harden poke LeBron in the eye? Therefore, he sees three. Like maybe that's a superpower. You got to get LeBron seeing 3 rims.
I mean,
or I'm sorry, 3 nets.
3 nets, yeah. I don't see it happening. You know, I'm more likely to see like James Harden get teed up for like touching LeBron, like breathing in his direction. During a finals series, so they're gonna protect the hell out of their boy.
You brought up something that I need to grind an axe with really quick. Refs, because you know, Anthony Davis kicks Jay Crowder in the balls, doesn't get a flagrant 2. Draymond would have been tossed out of that bitch and suspended game 3.
Natural shooting motion, Ricky. That's you do. It was a natural shooting motion. I have the receipt from years ago.
I'm talking about
Draymond's scumbag ass.
I am talking about when Draymond was suspended, teed up in a game because LeBron hit him in the nuts, and then Draymond was like, "I'm gonna come after you." Hey, if it was Draymond, he would have got teed up for that. He would have been suspended the next game. I was looking at him, I'm like, AD, flagrant 2, get out of here. You kicked him in the nuts. Yeah, Jake is like, he didn't kick him in the nuts. He was just trying to kick him. Yeah, in the nuts.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's the kick out for a penalty, like trying to get the foul.
That's on what Jake said he was trying to do.
That halfway through that, it looked like he knew what he was doing. I'm just saying, like there's a difference between like, I'm gonna get the tag so I can spin the leg, and he fucked my shot.
This was
like,
straight up like flick like this.
It looked like there was a pop at the end of that kick. A little boop.
Yeah. That grinded me the wrong way. But of course the Lakers, like LeBron and the Lakers, they can't do no wrong. Also on my Facebook today, whoever made this is beautiful. It had a picture of LeBron's face, and it says "Touch LeBron," and when you touch it, it opens up to a longer picture, and it's him flopping. It says, "Oh no, ooh, refs, commissioner." Like, yes.
Yeah, the amount of time LeBron spent on the ground was and will continue to be ridiculous.
Deserves an Emmy, like actor of the year, like best male actor of the year. LeBron James. But Dave, that is going to do it for today's show. Seemed like a shorter show than usual, but like just have the NBA games. Sometimes you get like that. Sometimes we get 3. Sometimes we only get 2. Yeah. Sometimes you get 4, which is the weekend. The weekend's gonna have a ton of
I can't wait.
4 games, double days. Mondays are gonna be jam packed. But that's gonna do it for today's show. Remember, join the Discord if you want to keep up with these conversations with more than just Dave and I. If everyone in Twitch chat, think of that. Our YouTube chat. Everyone in YouTube chat plus us are all in the Discord. You can join it today for free. Link is right there down below. You can go ahead and click it and get in on it. If you want to support us, you can either become a patron, link down below, or become a channel member. It's the same thing. Same price, same rewards. So either one, you're getting the exact same thing, and you're supporting us and being rewarded for supporting us. It's a win-win-win, the triple threat. We're live on YouTube every Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central Time. Thank you guys for being as great as you always are. We'll be back tomorrow. More NBA. It's this ragtag group again. It's you and I, Dave, tomorrow.
You're stuck with us.
You're stuck with us. We're talking about Hawks draft for sure, but we're talking about more than that. Playoff games, Hawks draft. It's going to be a great show. Thank you guys for everything you do. And as always, have a good day, everybody.
WPN. Good luck, Knicks.